Hi, guys. Welcome back to another CoStar FanCast. I'm your host, Patrick Green, and today we've got a very special guest. You may know him from Adventure Time, or Voltron Legendary Defenders, or the hit Netflix show Julie and the Phantoms. Let's give a big CoStar welcome to Jeremy Shada.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Wow, we are pumped today. Hello, energy. You guys are all so good looking. I love the energy. That's awesome.
So what's new, Jeremy, since last time we talked?
Just a lot of adulting, ultimately. Just me and my wife are currently renovating a house, which is a huge undertaking. It'll be great when it's done, but right now, you know, the whole place is tore up and it's it's stressful, but it'll be great once it's done. We can actually move in and relax. And then also it's just really loving the fan response to Julie and the Phantoms, which has been just crazy the past 2 weeks, the way that, you know, we saw everything prior to launch and just kind of a little bit about it. And then seeing everybody watching it and making a lot of memes of the show and streaming the music and tagging me into tons and tons of stuff. It's been so cool. People have really taken to it. So thank you guys. You guys have been awesome.
One question I had was, you described Reggie as a golden retriever in human form. I love that. What did you mean by that?
I think Reggie, so I think he's kind of like a golden retriever in human form. He's kind of like, he's like a puppy dog. You know, he has that kind of like happy-go-lucky, like just wants to be your friend type person. He's always in a good mood. He's very kind of, his mind darts, you know, he gets distracted very, very easily. But he's also very, very loyal. I think he's like the most loyal member in the group. So he kind of has the best traits of a good dog, a good pup. And I would know because I have two dogs. I don't know if they're good all the time, but they're good pups.
Very nice. And would he hang out with your dogs? What would they think of him?
Oh, 100%. He would love my puppies. He might love them more than I do, to be completely honest. Probably because he doesn't have to clean up after them every single day. But yeah, they would get along great.
Very cool. All right, let's get into it. The very first question is from Rocio. Rocio, where are you calling in from?
From Spain.
From Spain, very nice.
Spain, whoa!
What's your question for Jeremy?
So it's actually my little sister's question.
Awesome.
She wanted to ask, whenever Jeremy's nervous on set, what does he do to calm down?
It's a great question. You know, usually whenever I'm kind of nervous about a scene or a little anxious about, I guess, interviews and stuff like that at times, you know, you just, I think ultimately I just try and focus on what I prepared in the scene. You know, I mean, like, the best part is, I think when you're shooting something, you have a great cast that's around you usually, and you're kind of making each other laugh. You know, I think the greatest way to take down nerves is to make a joke. You know, it's kind of just make light of the situation and not take it too seriously. And that's what always gets me through. Ultimately, I usually will try and do that for other cast members too. If someone's stressed about something, just a little bit of encouragement, and then just a little joke, honestly, just to make them laugh and get their mind off of it. That's what I do for other people, and it's ultimately what I try and do for myself. And I think it works probably better than anything else. I mean, I've usually done the work to prepare, but we all still get anxious and nervous about things at times. And then usually the thing that kind of gets you through is just realizing that every single time that's happened in the past, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I think that's a good way to look at it. You know, you're like, all right, I've been nervous about things before that I did not even need to be nervous about, and they always turn out fine in the end. And yeah, that's kind of what I do. Just think about that, do what you prepared, and try and make a joke, you know, make light of the situation. Hello.
Who do you got there with you, Rocio?
You got your little sister?
My little sister.
Does she want to say hi to Jeremy?
Dice hola. Jeremy te dice hola.
Hello.
Pero quítale la mano.
She's a little shy. That's okay.
Well, thank you for your question, Rocio. All right, next up we have JC. JC, where are you calling in from?
Oh, it cut out. I'm not getting the audio for JC.
I can ask her a question. She wants to know how you get yourself out there for auditions. In terms of just starting out, like what's your first kind of step?
For me, I mean, when I was starting out, at least, I really just had to get an agent or some type of representation because a lot of times how it kind of works is everything's submitted through like a breakdown service or basically a studio or a production company will put out a breakdown for a certain type of role or character. And then a lot of times, representation have access to those and they'll submit you. And if the people want to see you, they'll, say yes. And you'll basically submit yourself and come into the room. Or I guess during right now, everything's pretty self-taped. So they'll submit you online and then you do like kind of a self-tape of yourself for an audition. But that's generally how it works for actual auditions. As far as kind of getting yourself out there and getting a good start, though, I always feel like putting some type of experience together, whether it be like theater or even a real kind of making a little short or something just to kind of show off what you can do. Will just gain you a lot of experience and you'll be more confident, I think, once you actually get in the door to have auditions. But B, it's just if you can have something to show off for yourself that you kind of own and is yours, I mean, that's always going to be helpful. And it gives other people confidence that you can do the job, I guess, if they can see that you've already done it before, basically, even if it's just on like a short film or something, just to kind of boost your reel.
Very cool. So JC, we got JC back.
JC? Yeah, Nate? Can we hear it? I can totally see JC, but I can't hear
JC, unmute yourself. Try unmuting yourself. Okay.
Yeah. I can't hear it. No.
JC, why don't you disconnect and we'll come back to you. All right, moving on to Trish. Trish, where are you calling in from?
Hi. I'm calling in from Melbourne, Australia.
Wow. What time is it in Melbourne?
It's 6:41 in the morning.
How are you awake? I would not be awake at 6:41.
Well, I did an all-nighter, and then after this, I'll just probably take a nap.
Just completely pass out. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is crazy. In 2014, I was at like the Oz Comic Con or whatever, and I was meant to meet you, but I was too shy.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Well,
yeah.
You got your courage up, and
Here I am now.
Virtually, here we are. Exactly.
Here we are. Yeah. My question is, what would your dream job be if you weren't doing like voice acting, normal acting? Like, what would your dream job be?
Wow, great question. I feel like I started acting at such an early age. I was probably like 6 years old, probably. So it's one of those things where like I've never really, I guess, given a lot of thought to like what else I would do. I mean, I have a creative mind, so I think anything in the creative world is what I really enjoy. I mean, I already do music as well, and that's kind of also been in a lot of the projects I've done, kind of musical elements. So I guess something maybe music related. I don't think I would. I don't really see myself doing kind of a 9-to-5 desk job. But yeah, I guess something in the creative realm. I don't really know. Honestly, it's one of those weird things. Like I've never really given it a lot of thought and never had to.
Yeah,
I guess,
like you've grown up with it.
Yeah, part of me, I think, is almost just you kind of want to give 100% to what you're doing if it's something that you already love, and you almost don't want to even, in a weird way, I guess, entertain like a possible something else, just because you feel like if you start doing that, then maybe you'll drift away from what you're already doing if you like it, I guess. So kind of that, like, it almost makes you have to succeed in what you're doing because you're like, I don't know what else I would do, so I better give 150% to this.
Yeah.
Trish, what's your favorite thing Jeremy does? Do you like his music? Do you like his acting, his voiceover acting?
Well, I kind of like everything. Well, I remember me and my brother watching the first episode of Adventure Time. I was 5 years old. And I remember us like watching the first episode on Cartoon Network. It was crazy. So probably everything. You're really talented.
All the things. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been for a long time.
Very cool. Thanks for your question, Trish. Next up, we have
Trish,
Liam. Liam, where are you calling in from?
Scotland.
Scotland.
Very nice. You're on with Jeremy. What's your question?
What's going on, Liam?
Hi.
Did we forget that, right?
My question. My question was, what your favorite song is to play on bass from the show and not from the show?
Woo, great question. I like it. I think my favorite song to play on bass in the show is probably Nothing to Lose, which is the number that Sunset Curve kind of does when like Caleb kind of like forces us on stage with him in the finale episode. Yeah. Because we have we each have this kind of like cool solo basically. So like doing a solo on an instrument is always fun. But it also has like such a swing to it. You know, it's like, I don't get to play a lot of songs like that. It feels very kind of jazzy. And I don't know. There's a fun little kind of swing element to it. And they actually let us, out of all the stuff in season 1, they let us come up with our instrumental solos ourselves, which is pretty cool. Although, also fun fact, this is just what happens sometimes with editing. We each got to come up with our own solo in that song, and on set, I recorded. You know, we do everything to playback, but I had come up with the solo. It was recorded, and so I was playing the solo to what I had done on set, and then afterwards in the edit, they had reverted my solo to something else that wasn't what I played. So I watched it and I was like, wait a second, that's not what I played on set. And I was like, people are going to think I can't actually play because that's not the same thing that I'm playing. But it happens. It happens sometimes. It's just there's so many layers to any type of show when it gets made that some of that stuff will just happen at times. But just kind of a fun fact. Outside of the show, I think one of my favorite bass parts to play is probably Kissophobic, if anybody's familiar with Make Out Monday. It's a band that I was part of for the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. There's a song called Kissophobic, and the bass on that song is also really cool. It's kind of a throwback, kind of like 50s slow ballad song. And I like how it progresses from being kind of a throwback bass line, and then as you get through the song, it becomes rock by the end, which is kind of cool. It's fun to play like a couple different genres in the same song, which doesn't happen often.
Ian, what's your favorite song from the show?
From the show? Mm-hmm. I think it would have to be Never Never.
Now or Never. There we go. Yeah. Someone after my own heart.
Definitely
Now or Never. Punk Rock and Sunset Curve. It is one of my favorites from the show. Yeah. It's so good. I'm glad that you like it as well.
Very cool. Thanks for your question. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Here's our little Sunset Curve ghosts, actually, in like kind of like Pac-Man goes. My wife actually drew this, and then we just put it on a T-shirt just because I really wanted this on a T-shirt, and I thought it was super cute. So, fun fact.
I know. So we need merch.
Maybe we'll do something with that at some point. If anybody else wants something like this, I don't know if that's something people would want.
Yeah, we need the merch.
We need the merch. All right, we'll get on it. We'll see what happens.
Very cool. All right, next up we got Salmer. Salmer, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Philippines.
Very
awesome.
Cool.
What's going on, man?
I think we're having some internet problem, but I'm trying this to work.
Hello, Mr. Jeremy. You are all good to go, man. What's your question?
Oh, thank you. So I have watched a lot of the Julie and the Phantoms interviews and some of your old vlogs on YouTube. I really hope you'll do it again. And then they all lead me to conclude that you, Mr. Jeremy, is an intelligent being, in my own opinion. And so you even finished your studies when you're around 17. So a random thought came into me. And my question is, have you ever thought of becoming a scientist, like a pharmacist perhaps, or did you just decide to become an actor one day, something like that?
Wow. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm very flattered. I'm glad that you think that's even actually, as far as the YouTube vlogs go, I'm basically kind of doing vlogs on CoStar now. They call them Insider Series. actually be turning one in this month. I'm doing kind of one right now that's about the home renovation process that we're doing. Trying to become a handyman. Very difficult. But well, more on that later. But scientist or a pharmacist? I mean, I guess as much as anyone is. You know, I always enjoyed learning in school. I always enjoyed science. I always enjoyed history. I think those are probably my two favorite subjects. I guess the thought of like going into like becoming a doctor or even, you know, a practitioner or anything like that was always like, wow, that's a lot. And I don't know if I want the the job of like curing people or like diagnosing them. I guess that's like so stressful to me. Like if I gave someone like a wrong diagnosis, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if that's people that can do that. Can be a doctor, pharmacist. I applaud all of you because that's a hard job. My wife's dad is a doctor, so he's very smart. I mean, I think it's an amazing job what you can do, but I've definitely never thought about it, and that's a lot of schooling to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm glad that you think I could do that because I don't even know if I think I could do that.
Maybe you can play one on TV. Maybe you can play one in your next role.
I would love to play it.
Right.
I'll play a doctor. Yeah, that's awesome.
We really love the Julie and the Phantoms. I actually forced my family to watch that one, and then I just discovered it through serendipity. And then, in the hopes of having season 2, did you picture Reggie having a romantic relationship, or will he focus more on finding his family, thinking that it could be his unfinished business, something like that?
Oh, great question. I don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. I mean, I know they're kicking around ideas of things if we get a second season. I think that definitely 100% Reggie's going to go and try and find his family just to see where they kind of are all at. And I think a big part of his character is family. You know, with the band and Julie, that's kind of his found family. But I think maybe we'll get to see that more solidified as we see what happens when he kind of actually tracks down his biological family and sees where they're all at. I think it'll give him a even larger appreciation for the group. And as far as the romantic aspects, I honestly have no idea. I mean, I think at some point I'd love to have a little bit of romance with Reggie. He's definitely like the most flirty in the show, which is the funniest part because at this point he has the least of any type of actual romantic relationship. So maybe eventually I would love to. I don't know what form that would take, or if it's like, you know, we already have the kind of, I guess, potential romance between Julie and Luke in the kind of ghost and human, you know, type of thing. I don't know if he would find another ghost or if there's a human person. I have no idea. So that would be cool, though. I'd be down for it eventually. Ready some love.
Oh.
That's a tune in for season 2.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be tuning on to season 2.
Thanks, Summer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next up we got JC. JC's back.
Oh, can you guys
Hi,
really
JC.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can actually hear you now.
Yay! Thank you, Jacob, for this. Oh, thank you, Jacob.
Where are you
hi,
coming from,
Jeremy.
JC?
Oh, sorry.
Where are you at? Where are you at currently?
Currently it's really early in the morning in Auckland, New Zealand.
Wow.
Shout out to
you're on the other side of the
That's
planet.
how far in the
from me.
future I am. That's how far in the future I am.
Mind blown.
And it's yeah. So you've already answered my question, but I have so much to ask you. According to like acting and like according to like music and drama, like acting, because I'm like that type of a creative. For music wise, what got you into music, like, and how to get yourself out to that position? Because I kind of can tell you're already in a band somehow, some sort, in the past, or maybe in the future.
Past, present, future. I mean, I guess technically, as far as Julie and the Phantoms goes, I mean, the goal of that show too was definitely to have us be an actual band. That's why like everybody can actually play, everybody can actually sing. We went through a literal like 2 months of a basically music boot camp to become a band and just kind of learn all the songs and get everything down and become close to each other, which is so beneficial. And I think that really shows off in the show. We're all very close, and we all are actually a band, literally. I mean, the goal is if and when we can, if it becomes possible again, and if the show is successful and you guys keep watching it, which would be awesome, we would love to do a tour as the band from the show. That's definitely something we want to do. And to answer your question, as far as like getting into music, I actually did have a band even prior to the show, Make Out Monday, which is kind of like punk alternative, kind of pop rock music that I played bass in and sang. And I've been playing bass since I was 12 years old and singing since I was born, you know, I was like since a little kid. And I've always just loved music. It was one of those things where I think growing up, it was more so just something I loved doing, just kind of for fun as a hobby. And it kind of rounded out my ability as an actor and an entertainer as well, because a lot of jobs require you to have a music knowledge. And so that's kind of what it started at. And then over time, I just loved it and kind of started writing with my brother, and we did Make Out Monday together. And then I guess all of that kind of really culminated in Julie and the Phantoms, and kind of my two favorite things, acting and music, getting to collide, which was really, really cool. But yeah, I think anyone who becomes a musician just has a great love of music. And I think music is just something that really brings everyone together, and is just such a universal language. And it's something that you can all dance to, you can all smile to, you can all scream and sing at the top of your lungs. And that's why I love music. It's just fun.
Wait, Patrick, before you I have one more thing. So can you repeat to me about what you said about my question about auditions? Because I've been in multiple auditions for like a show in my country, and I just want to know what your perspective in that certain type of thing, because it's different from America to New Zealand. Can you explain to me the audition process?
Yeah, I think for US, usually an audition, I have like for being a manager or my agent, and they'll kind of submit you for an audition. Usually there's a breakdown from the company. Like for instance, for Phantoms, it would have been like Netflix sent out a breakdown for the main characters, and then it's on kind of a breakdown service, and your agents and managers will see that, and they'll go, okay, the character is like in this age range, so like 17 years old. You know, the character has to sing and play bass. So they're like, okay, well, we have a client that's can pass for 17, that sings, plays bass, and they'll submit you for it. And then the company will say, yeah, we want to see him. And you'll either come in an audition or you do like a self-tape. Most things are self-tape now because obviously you can't be in person for that. And you'll put yourself on tape, you'll submit it. And then the hard part about self-tapes is half the time you're just like, is anybody even watching this? Like, I have no idea. I'm just kind of sending it off into the internet, and God, I hope someone sees it, or I hope maybe not the wrong person sees it. That'd be awkward. But yeah, you just kind of send it off and hope for the best. I mean, that's really all it is for me. I mean, I've gone out on hundreds and hundreds of things that I never even heard back on, and then eventually you get that one project, and you're just so freaking stoked and thankful because of it. A lot of trial and error.
Trial and error.
Those
famous words. Thank you.
Very cool. All right.
You're welcome.
Jeremy, I had a question. Besides playing music on Julie and the Phantoms, you guys do a lot of eating. You know, being in LA,
lots of food.
The street dogs that you guys eat. How many takes did you have to do for that scene?
Gosh, we were shooting that scene. That was a night shoot. So our day started at like 6 p.m. And then by the time we wrapped shooting, it was like 5 a.m. the next morning. And we've been there all night. It's cold. We're outside in Vancouver. And they have just these like really quantity over quality hot dogs. And they're like, what do you want on your dog? And me and Owen specifically are like, okay, the least amount of things. Because I know after one take, I'm going to already hate this. So I don't want like everything on my hot dog to where I'm like shoving anchovies in my face for like 20 straight takes. So I opted for like the most basic hot dog possible. And then Charlie was like, give me everything. And after the first take, he was like, oh God, I regret that. We probably ended up doing realistically like 17, 18 takes. So there's probably 17 or 18 half-eaten hot dogs, you know, and like they would just keep rolling. Like, it wasn't like we took a bite and then immediately they cut and you just spit bucket. I mean, that's what you end up doing, but they would keep rolling. So like, I would, every take, I'm at least swallowing once or twice this big chunk of like cold, gross hot dog. It's 4:30 a.m. in the morning out on the alleyways of Vancouver. Such a weird experience, but yeah, it's what you do, and that's why I call it acting. That's a really good one.
Have you had a hot dog since?
I literally no, I have not. I have not had a hot dog since, and I also during the whole shooting, because in the show it's what kills them. There's like kind of this weird like, I don't think any of us should eat hot dogs. It feels like we're just asking for something bad to happen. So like I have not eaten one since. And throughout all shooting, other than the actual scene, I didn't eat any hot dogs. I feel like I don't know if I ever will eat a hot dog again. We'll see. It's scarred. It's it's like scarred my head permanently from eating hot dogs.
That's great. All right, let's get back to the questions. Rachel, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
Hello, I'm from France.
From France? Awesome.
France, yeah. All good. I'm very happy to talk to you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, I was really happy they sent back the question by email because I actually totally forgot about it.
That's good. That's helpful.
First of all, I wanted to tell you I'm probably never going to eat a hot dog again. I used to love them, but never again.
I know. I can't do it. I feel like I feel like I'm just asking to have a bad reaction to a hot dog if I eat one at this point. I just never again. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, hot dogs.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry for you. If you used to love them, that might have been terrible, really. My question. So I have it here. It was I play bass too, a little.
Awesome.
And I was wondering if you use fingers or pick.
You know what? When I
think you do both.
I do both. When I first started learning, I used a pick the entire time, and a lot of the music that I was doing was kind of very quick, up tempo kind of punk rock music, and so I just preferred having a pick. Yeah, kind of doing like alternative picking. But then there's just certain songs and there's just certain tones that really sound great when you're doing finger picking on a bass. And specifically for Julie and the Phantoms, I really had to do a lot more of it because a lot of the stuff was more kind of medium tempo, kind of chill, and it sounded really nice on finger picking. Yeah. So I think specifically, there's a couple. It actually changes song to song on Phantoms. Like Now or Never, I played with the pick. A lot of the JTP songs are finger picking, and then I think there's only one other one that's on a pick. It might be Edge of Great because it's like super fast. It's da 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 da. It's really hard to do like that. Like it just, especially after like 30 takes, you don't want to be doing this the whole time. It just it tires you out.
We saw you just chilling on a couch at some point, and you have a pick, and I was wondering as you were playing with fingers, I was like, what does he use?
I do both. I literally just kind of whatever feels I guess best for the song, and so I'll kind of switch back and forth. But yeah, I've enjoyed doing more finger picking on Julie and the Phantoms, but for a long time I did almost strictly just pick. But it's nice to be able to know how to do both because they obviously both come into play a lot.
I'm trying to work out both, but it's hard.
What do you need more finger picking or actual pick?
I use my pick for now. I'm working on the finger, but it's hard.
Honestly, it just takes time. It's literally like, I mean, at first it was so awkward to do it like this. And then over time, it's the same thing. I mean, honestly, practice makes perfect. Your muscles and just get used to it over time. And it always feels so impossible at the beginning. And then like 2 months in, you're like, oh, I kind of did it that time. Whoa, where'd that come from?
Just a couple other questions. Quick ones, please. Just will there be any tabs or a lesson for the bass on the Julie and the Phantoms songs?
Great question. I might end up, once I get a little more free time, I might end up doing, because I know Charlie's doing kind of some guitar lessons for the guitar stuff. So I would love to do some of that. I might do that at some point. And then As far as the actual tabs, I'm sure someone can figure it out. We'll probably put them up there. There might even be some as we speak. I don't even know.
Maybe.
But if not, I'm sure they're gonna put out some official tabs at some point, just because that's such a huge thing and it's so fun to be able to play along with stuff. So they will happen for sure. Either way.
It should be awesome. Well, thank you. And one last question: what's your favorite punk band then? Because I'm a whole lot into punk.
Ooh, probably favorite punk band. I would say, I guess the younger, 12-year-old than me, probably I listen to a lot of Fall Out Boy. So yeah, probably Fall Out Boy, like original from back in the day. I listen to a lot of that. All American Rejects are also good, and then a little bit of Green Day too. But yeah, early 2000s punk.
If you don't know them,
cool.
Give it a listen to the Dropkick Murphys. They're absolutely amazing. They're
Dropkick
my
Murphys?
favorite.
All right. I'll check
Dropkick
it out.
Murphys, yeah. I'm sure you'll like them. Well,
I probably
thank you
will.
very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great questions, Rachel. Thank you. Next up, we got Sophia. Sophia, where are you calling in from?
Hi. I'm shaking, sorry. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been watching Julie and the Phantoms a lot of times, 2 times in English, and the last one I had to watch it like in Spanish because my sister doesn't know English. I'm from Colombia.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
So nice to meet you. How did
Sorry.
I haven't listened to any of it in other languages. It's dubbed. I think they dub it. Besides I think the songs are the same, but I think they dub the talking.
It's not the same the dub. I really prefer it in English, of course. Okay. First, I want to ask you something, and then I want to read you a letter that I wrote yesterday.
Okay.
It's not too long. Okay. My question is, which is one of the most meaningful characters in Julie and the Phantoms, like a kind of character that represents someone really important for you?
Wow. Great question. I would say, wow, I have not thought about it that way. I love all the characters. I'm trying to think of someone who, I guess, represents someone that that I also know and love in real life, like reminds me of them, or just like kind of like really
like family, like someone that you really love.
Good question. I think that Charlie. Well, I guess Luke specifically, character-wise, not Charlie, but I think Luke is one of my favorite characters because he just kind of he reminds me a lot of like my friends kind of growing up, like multiple different friends, but like some of my best friends growing up that were kind of just had that fun energy where like they were just excited about life and growing up I love music, and so a lot of my friends did as well. So I think Luke kind of embodies like a lot of my kind of teenage friends that we would go and like just try and write music and play songs and kind of jam together. It was those times where you're just kind of having fun. Like it's the people that you just enjoy spending time with that have those shared interests, and that kind of inspire you to do something as well. It's the people that you're like, wow, they're really good at something, but they're not just good at something because they want to pour into you and kind of teach you as well. And also bring out, I think, the inner artist in yourself as well. So yeah, I guess Luke. I think Luke reminds me a lot of kind of mentors and friends when I was younger as a teenager. Yeah, if that makes any sense.
Very cool.
I want to read so fast the letter. I hope you can understand it because I'm not too good with that grammar. So, again, dear Jeremy, hi. My name is Sophia. I am 16 years old and I am from Colombia. I'm writing this in a letter because I want you to know that if I try to memorize it, I will probably forget it. And I'm also trying to search for the right words to express myself. I wanted to say thanks for everything. For me, Julia and the Phantoms gave me back the faith. This year has been really, really hard. I was trying to forget all my dreams. I'm reaching for many other things that doesn't belong to my soul. I was losing me. I was trying to give up of acting. Thanks for giving me so many reasons to laugh, cry, and also keep myself confident that everything is possible. Thanks for sharing us magic by songs. You all deserve happiness, deserve love, and the best things in the world. And you know why? Because not everyone gives us the reason to smile with a phrase like, oh, I get it, he's not talking to us, or like, oh, you think you're cute? Every single character from Yuli to Caleb is in our heart with an unforgettable moment. Hoping for you to hear this, I wish you the best in life and the best in the world. For you and all your family, have a wonderful day. Jeremy, enjoy every single person and moment in your life. Won't forget me, and thanks for listening to me with so much love, Sophia. Postscript number 1, won't eat hot dogs again. Postscript number 2, it will be a dream come true to meet you in real person, and please tell your wife that I want that shirt that she's making.
Very cool.
That is so sweet.
Thank you for that nice letter.
That is so sweet. I really think even everything that you said, I mean, like, ultimately for me as an actor, as a singer, entertainer, as a person, my goal is always, I think is always to cheer people up, to spread love, to spread encouragement, to give something to people that just honestly brightens their day and makes them happy and feels that they're empowered to kind of chase the things that they want to do. I mean, as an entertainer, that's what you do. That's the whole goal. So if that's the effect it has on someone, just to take them out of wherever they're at for, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, or 4 hours if you watch the whole thing straight through, and it brings a smile to their face and it inspires them to do something else, and it encourages them, and that's great. That's what I love doing. So thank you. We all work hard on it, and I'm so glad that means that much to you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
All right, next up we got Coralie. Coralie, where are you calling this from?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. I'm French. France.
You're calling from France?
Hello, Coralie from France.
I don't understand English very well.
That's okay.
My English is very bad.
That's all good. It's your English might be it's probably better than my French is, so give yourself credit.
Okay.
What's your question for Jeremy?
Yes, my question is, do you think your character will stay the same or evolve in the Julie and the Phantom series if there is a season 2?
Great question. Yeah, I think all the characters hopefully will evolve in some way, shape, or form. I think specifically for my character, for Reggie, I definitely think there's going to be some evolution for him in season 2. I know that a big thing that we weren't able to get to in season 1 was him kind of finding his original family, tracking them down and seeing where they were currently at, and seeing kind of what effect that has on him, I think kind of emotionally, mentally, everything else. And so I think we're going to see that if we get a season 2. And yeah, I think he'll also maybe have some kind of develop a continued relationship with Carlos too, which is Julie's little brother. And kind of that bond is almost kind of surrogate brothers, I think is going to continue quite a bit. And yeah, I hope to see more from him. I hope to see more backstory on him and more kind of evolution from him. I think in a lot of ways, Reggie as a person is kind of like the heart of the band. He's very loyal. He's very encouraging, and he's very kind of that happy-go-lucky, I think, even if he's a little bit dopey, kind of grounding person in the group. So I think that's a trait that will definitely stay the same. But I think we'll see more from his story and kind of his backstory and his family, hopefully, and maybe other things. Who knows? But yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your question, Coralie.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
All right. Next up, we got Sandra Rose. Sandra Rose, where are you calling from?
I'm from Iceland.
Iceland. Wow. And you got a friend with you?
Yeah, this is my little sister.
Awesome. Hello, Sandra and little sister.
Her name is Inka. Okay, Inka.
Nice to meet you, Sandra.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
I don't know where I watched this on Netflix on Julian and Phantoms, but I really love when you put up the I wish for a puppy and a hamster and a pizza. I love that show.
Thank you. That's a good episode. Yeah, it's I love that scene. It's very fun. The leads into
your little band.
Yeah. This band is back. This band is back. Originally, there wasn't anything specifically written for it in the script. It was kind of just they kind of walked down the beach playing something on guitar and singing, and then I came up with kind of the first little rough idea of it, and then we brought in the writers and kind of worked it out, and we choreographed the dance part of it on like the chairs, and they're kind of hopping from chair to chair. We did that all like on the same. We did that while shooting. We didn't even do that ahead of time. So that was like choreographed on that day, and it was supposed to be very kind of spontaneous, impromptu. Fun fact: I actually completely tripped on one of those chairs and almost ate it. I was this close to hitting my face on one of the metal chairs. It was almost very bad. I cut my finger open. I don't know if you can really see, but one of my fingers has a Band-Aid on in that sequence. But I don't know why a ghost would have a Band-Aid on, so they kind of just try to hide it as much as possible. My finger was bleeding.
Yeah.
So I guess you would have to really zoom in and HD the pixels on that to see it. But fun little fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first season of when I start watching a show, when you pop out and see Julie just scream out and run over. That was my favorite part.
That was your favorite part?
Yeah.
I love that. So fun to shoot. That's one of my favorites.
And you screaming too.
I give it a scream. I'm a very good screamer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
My sister loves the song Until Emily.
Ooh, me too. I love Unsaid Emily. It's so good. It's so sad.
My sister cries.
I mean, it makes me cry.
Yeah, my sister's cry.
Does your sister have a question?
I watch it 100% every time. She's asking.
Did your sister have a quick question for Jeremy?
Me? Yes, you.
Yes.
What was your favorite part of the season?
Ooh, good question. I think probably one of my favorite parts was shooting Stand Tall, which is the finale song. Just because it was very kind of bittersweet, when you come to the end of a long shoot like that, it doesn't fully hit you. But I think the fact that was kind of the last one that we went out on, and the wardrobe in it is awesome. And it's a fun song. We all get to do little solos in it, and I love coming to the front of the stage at the end with Maddie and kind of jamming with her. It's I don't know. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs, and it was kind of fun.
Mine too. I'm always singing it.
It was fun to shoot.
I love singing, by the way.
Yeah, you're stoked that you had this whole process. It's kind of sad because that's like the last one that you're going to do for the season, but it was such a fun one to go out on. It's such an anthem. So that's one of my favorite ones to shoot.
Yes.
Thanks for calling in from Iceland. Thank you for your question.
You're welcome.
All right, next up we got Elena. Elena, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
God. Hi. I hope you
Hello,
can hear
how are
me.
you? Thank you.
I'm good. I'm from Bulgaria. It's a small country in Eastern Europe.
Oh, I know about Bulgaria. I know where that's at. I know about
Okay. Do you know the capital?
Oh, crap. Wow, I set myself up for failure. The capital. I know the country. I don't know the capital. To be fair, though, there's a lot of countries with capitals I have no idea about. So
We'll let it slide this time. Okay.
Fair enough. Thank you.
I love your T-shirt. Where did you get it?
This is actually my wife actually drew this. She does graphic design, and so I think that's her little signature right there. But she drew it, and then just for fun, just because I love the design, we just put it on a T-shirt. So I don't know if that's something that somebody would want at some point. Maybe we'll do a little limited run of these or something. But yeah, she made it.
It's amazing. It's really nice.
Thank you. I love it.
I want to thank the staff because I had some technical difficulties and now I'm here, so I'm so happy. Actually, Julian the Phantoms is my favorite series, and I was a little bit giving up on music and piano and singing, but when I heard the songs, when I heard you guys playing, it all just came to me, the inspiration. So it's a really important series for me. And then I hear that you're the person who voiced Finn in Adventure Time, and I'm like, mind blown.
That's awesome.
Actually, my question for you was more acting related. So if you could star in any movie or TV series ever made, which one would you choose and why?
Wow, good question. There's so many of those things. I don't know where to start. I would probably choose some type of. I don't know if I guess it hasn't really happened yet, but no, it's happened in different forms. But some type of Batman movie, and I would love to play like Robin or I guess I'm a little older now, but like Nightwing or something like that, Red Hood, anything of any of the Robin characters, whether it be Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, any of the Robins. Robin's always been like my favorite comic book hero ever since I was a little kid. So that would be a dream. If I could just pick one willy nilly, it would probably be that. That would be super fun.
That's so cool. I expect to see you in a Halloween Robin costume because you'd be a hell of a good cosplayer.
That's a good idea. We'll see if I can put one together. I've seen so many great cosplayers though. Every time I go to Comic-Cons, that it kind of ruins Halloween because you guys are so good with these, and I have no skills whatsoever with putting together a good costume. So I feel like mine will just be a cheap Party City knockoff compared to some of these awesome cosplays I've seen.
Well, you can let your wife help you. She can be Starfire. You can do like a romantic duo.
I like this. I like where your mind's at. I like this.
Elena, is there any role you'd want to see Jeremy in? A famous role that you think he could kill?
Ooh. I think he's so sweet and so nice, and he can kill like any role that he does. But maybe I like to see him in like another singing role where he's in a band, but also like saving the world, like a superhero band.
Wow, a superhero band. That's epic. That is epic. I would be down. You know, superheroes.
Netflix should be calling you in like a couple of months.
I've heard people call my people. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen, okay? Next time I'm in LA, I'm gonna hit you up. So I wanted to ask you about the BTS because it's always so fun. What was your favorite moment, like behind the scenes shooting with the others?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, we had a blast in the show. I love that cast. Trying to think. I probably always have a different answer for this because I'll just remember different ones. But I really loved shooting the scene where we kind of poof in for the first time, where Julie first sees us. We kind of poof in because it was basically just us like jumping in the air and flipping and landing hard on our back. You would think there was like a soft mat there or something. There wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was just take after take of us just kind of standing in place, and then if in the context of when you're shooting, you don't have the visual effects, you don't have anything like that, so it just looks so goofy. Anytime we poof in, it just looks so ridiculous. Just us kind of doing like this, and then suddenly it's just like out of nowhere. So yeah,
the background's the same, and you have to get all the instruments and yourself in without moving anything.
It's a technical job. Oh, also the moment where Alex at the end kind of does the Dirty Dancing kind of jump and like immediately catch him. There's a few takes where there was one take where he just straight up cleared us, and like we didn't even end up touching him. He just like basically soared over us, and I was like, oh no. And one take where he like just landed like right here in my like throat basically, and I was like cracked my back. But yeah, it was fine. We're young lads. We bounced back very quickly, so we're all healthy still. But
movie magic. Thank you for your questions, Elena.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Of course, you're welcome.
Thank you. Next up, we got Sarah. Sarah, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from? How you doing?
Hi. I'm from Belgium.
From Belgium? Oh.
Yes.
Awesome. How are you, Sarah? You seem very cozy. I like the sweater.
Yes, it is. It's a bit hot, but it's all right. Okay, so my question is, if you could take claim for any invention, which would it be and why?
Take claim for any invention? Wow. That I don't think I've ever been asked that before, to be fair. So good on you for stumping me a little bit. Take claim for any invention and why? I guess probably the internet, because that seems like something that would be very lucrative. I think it's something that everyone uses every single day, and yeah, that's a good one. I mean, like the part of you that just wants to be seen as a smart person, I would probably say, like electricity. I mean, how epic would it be to be like, yo, I came up with electricity. I made that happen. I caught lightning in a bottle and used it to power things. Like, how epic is that? You think about that. That's crazy. That's so cool. Yeah, I've never thought about that before. That's a really good question. That's funny. Well, what would you want to take claim for? I feel like that's one of those questions where like you've thought about this for yourself, and so you're like, I'm gonna ask someone else. What is your answer?
A shoelace.
The shoelace.
How many people use them every day?
Every day. Hey, if you could have patented the shoelace, oh my gosh, you'd be set for forever.
Yes, I do.
That's such a good question. Thank you, Sarah. That's very funny. I love it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Your character on the show reminded me of Nick Jonas in Camp Rock, and I loved it. It was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's funny. That's actually a pretty good comparison. I've never thought about that, but it is. Yeah, they have similar personalities for sure. That's funny. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, next up we have Hannah. Hannah, where are you calling in from?
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
You're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
Which Hannah are you talking to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Hannah B. Hannah B.
Hannah B. There we go. Hey.
Yeah. Hello, it's me.
Yeah, where are you at, Hannah B?
Hi. From England.
From England. Awesome. Nice to meet you virtually through the CoStars.
I think there's a bit of a delay.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. I don't know. Can you at least hear? It's delayed, but can you hear it? 'Cause I can hear you fine. I can hear you pretty good. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I just graduated with a degree in costume.
Wow.
So I was wondering, what was your favorite costume to wear on Julie and the Phantoms?
Great question. I love that. And congrats, by the way, since you just graduated. I'm sure that was quite a bit of work. So good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think my favorite. It's hard. Because there's different reasons for favorites. Like there's maybe probably favorite look, but that doesn't always mean it's your favorite to wear. Because sometimes the ones that look the coolest are like the most annoying to put on because they have so many little, so many little specific things. Like I love the red, like the custom red kind of tuxedo that I have at the end of the show. Once Caleb like poofs it, and it we all have our suits, and then we have that for the last episode through the finale. That thing is so cool. They were all custom. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were custom suits from a tailor, kind of like a bespoke tailor in England. I think in London. And they were like very expensive. We only had like one of each. So like if I ripped one of the sleeves of that, it would have been horrible. So I had to be very careful with that suit. But that one was so cool to wear. It was the design is gorgeous, and like the embroidery and stuff on it, and the custom stitching all the way through. It's so cool. But it had also like it took forever to get that thing on because there's like little chains and stuff running through it, and the very specific way to tie the kind of tie bow thing and all of it. So I'd say for practicality's sake, I really mostly just wear the leather jacket in the show. It's usually like the t-shirt, leather jacket, my belt, the flannel wrapped around, and that's the look. And I got really good at putting that on quickly. The flannel had to be like wrapped around a very specific way for continuity's sake. And sometimes if you didn't do it correctly, because I have a belt right here, it would would almost look like I just had like this extra butt that kind of went around right here. So had to be very careful with how I put the flannel on. Yeah, I think my favorite look was probably the red suit, and then probably the favorite thing to wear is the leather jacket. I love leather jackets. They're fun. They're just cool. And I have the little pockets in them, so I was that kind of cool little leather jacket, hands in the pocket type thing. Very good. Very good one.
Thank you for your question, Hannah B. Next up, we have Andressa. Congrats. Next up, we have Andressa. Where are you calling from, Andressa?
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Andressa. How are you?
I'm from Brazil.
Awesome. Brazil. The original home of the original version of the show. The Eles Fantásticos. That's awesome.
So my question is, I'm a big fan of the props and the little details that the prop department puts on the show, and I saw those articles about Sunset Curve's death, Trevor's biography, and I was curious about the About Us page on the Sunset Curve's booklet. What was written on that? Because I tried to read, and I always saw was a blur.
It's kind of funny. I could not tell you what is in that booklet page, because a lot of times, I mean, there's probably a physical version of that one, but weird audio. A lot of times they'll put like the first couple sentences will be something relating to whatever it actually is, and then if you keep reading, like if you pause something and you keep reading, half the time it ends up just being the same thing like 4 times in a row, or just kind of like gibberish. I mean, sometimes if someone in the art department is really having a fun day, they'll literally write out like an entire article that's just fake, and it'll be in one of those. But yeah, as far as like the stuff on the computer and the phone when they first read about it, though, when we're on set, I have no idea what those are going to be because they're just green screen. So they just put a strip of green on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, here's the article. It says Sunset Curve died in '95," and it's just green, and we're like, "Wow, crazy!" I have no idea what that's going to look like once it's done. Same with anything where it's like a shot of something playing on a computer. It's always green. It's always green screen, and then they just put it in afterwards. So if you're supposed to be watching a music video or something on a computer or a phone, like you're not watching anything. You're just looking at green. That's it. And then they kind of put that stuff in later. The only stuff that has to be not green screen is if it's like paper. So if there's like a booklet cover, that has to be usually written out ahead of time. But honestly, I could not tell you what's in there. It probably says something about us being a band in the 90s that loves punk music, and it's comprised of, Reggie, Luke, Alex, and Bobby, and so on and so forth. I'd be curious to read it too. I have no idea. Usually with a lot of that stuff, they'll put fun little Easter eggs in there to fans if they catch it. But yeah.
Yeah. Is that, and I was able to read those articles about Sunset Curves, that Taylor Trevor's biography, and it's a little bit gibberish, but it's fun to look at.
Yeah,
to know
totally.
What's reading that.
But they put a little bit in there, which is kind of fun. So thank you for your question, Andressa. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andressa. All right, next up we got Hannah. Hannah K. Where are you calling from, Hannah?
I'm calling from Korea.
Wow.
Very cool.
Completely on the other end of the world. I love it. That's awesome. How are you doing, Hannah?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome, of course. What is your question, Ms. Hannah?
So I wanted to ask about Reggie. So I noticed that he likes pizza a lot because he wanted his house to be a pizzeria. And even if when Julie quit the band, he says, like, we can eat pizza at Caleb's Club. So I wondered why Reggie likes pizza so much.
You know what? I think it might just be his favorite food. The big Reggie just loves pizza. I mean, it's probably as simple as that. I mean, to be fair, as a teenager, I lived off of pizza. It was like, anytime you hang out with the guy's place, you go over to your friends and you want to have like a game night or whatever, like the cheapest thing that feeds a lot of people, pizza. So I think that's probably what it is. I think as a teenager, as like a broke musician who basically doesn't have any money, I think Luke, Reggie, and Alex just ate a lot of pizza because it was the cheapest thing that they could split 3 ways. And when they weren't making money, at least they could afford that. So that's probably what it is.
And I wanted to know if there were any deleted scenes in Julie and the Phantoms.
Deleted scenes. Good question. Let me plug my computer in here because I think it's going to die soon if I don't. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if there was a lot of like deleted scenes that we actually shot. I think for the most part, everything that we shot pretty much made it into the show. There was definitely deleted scenes that were written that we just never got to shoot. In fact, I think originally the first season was supposed to be 10 episodes and not 9 episodes. And so because of time, it takes so long for us to choreograph and shoot a lot of those sequences that, and Madison, a couple of the other main actors are minors, and they only have, a certain amount of time to be shooting each day. So it kind of really cut into the time that we were going to have. And they ended up cutting a full episode. But they rewrote it so that most of the stuff that was in that episode ended up just being sprinkled throughout a few other episodes, and they just kind of condensed it. I think originally, this never even made it into the scripts, I don't think, but originally I was supposed to have something with my family season 1. I think now it'll probably happen if we get season 2. I know that there was supposed to be, I think, a whole... The Edge of Great, the sequence where the song that we play in Julie's garage was originally supposed to be at an actual music venue. We were supposed to have a lot more stuff with a music manager who basically was the person who actually got us into the Orpheum show at the end. So there was stuff like that got condensed and changed. And I think it actually kind of worked out for the better because I love the fact that we play in Julie's garage and the fact that it's kind of like we use our ghost powers to get the show is kind of cool. There was a little bit more with that bit where Willie kind of like, drives the other band's bus. Originally, we were going to have a scene of him actually like driving their bus and having them wake up and be like, "What the heck? Like, where are we?" But it's stuff like that kind of gets condensed and cut down because of time, honestly. But that's the main stuff that I can think of on the top of my head. I think most things just kind of got slightly altered or just kind of condensed into shorter bits. There's probably certain scenes are a little longer initially, but yeah, most of the stuff that we shot was completely in the show. I don't think a lot that we shot actually got cut out.
Thank
Great
you.
questions, Hannah.
I really enjoy watching the show.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I'm glad you enjoy it. We enjoy making it, so keep watching it. Tell your friends, obviously, pun intended, and hopefully it just keeps building, and we get to do it again, and maybe do it again multiple times. That would be cool if we could do more than one season. If we could do a couple of seasons, I'd be pretty stoked.
Who out there wants a season 2?
Thank you.
Show us who wants a season 2 out there.
I do. I definitely do. I'll put your hands up for that.
Very cool. So next up, we got Najla. Najla, where are you calling in from?
Hi, it's so nice to meet you guys. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Just hanging out and talking to some really cool people, literally all across the world, which is so crazy to me. It's so cool.
It's so nice to meet you. I'm from Kuwait.
Wow.
Yeah. I have just one thing to.
Had somebody from Kuwait before. That's so cool. I think you're the first person that we've had on a FanCast from Kuwait. That's awesome.
That's so fun. I want to say something before I ask my question. I just wanted to say you guys did an amazing job on the show. Like, you absolutely blew us all away. In ways I wouldn't even imagine. So you guys did such a good job on the show, and the soundtrack is incredible.
Thank you.
So I have 2 quick questions. Thank you.
Go for it.
So my first question is, did you use your experience from previous characters you've played to guide you and to help you how you played Reggie?
Good question. In some ways, yeah. I feel like when I saw kind of how he was written in the script the first time I read through it, it honestly just reminded me a lot of 2 very, I guess, one character that I've played before, and then 2 other characters that I'm a fan of from other shows. He reminded me quite a bit of kind of Lance from Voltron, who I played in Voltron, who I just did the voice of in Voltron. He reminded me a little bit of Lance, just in this kind of like goofy flirtatiousness. But then I think specifically the 2 characters I used probably as inspiration for Reggie was probably Joey from Friends and maybe a little bit of Chris Pratt, Andy Dwyer in Parks and Rec. And they're both just kind of like, they're a little goofy, like they're kind of, they try to be flirty, but they're not like the smartest person in the room, but they're also like very lovable and very loyal. And I think that was like kind of the traits that I liked about Reggie. So, kind of all of those, I guess, mixed together, plus the fact that he's a rock star musician is kind of, I guess, what I was pulling from more or less.
Hey, great question, Najla. Next up, we got Ellie. Oh, did you have one more? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have one more question. Sorry.
Okay. No, go ahead.
So there are a lot of franchises, I feel like, that have a lot of like evil characters. For example, Harry Potter and Star Wars, and a bunch of those movies. And a lot of the main villains that you see get a redeeming arc in the end, like Anakin with Darth Vader or Snape.
Right.
So would you be interested in giving Caleb a redeeming arc in the future seasons?
Yeah, I mean, there's always so many good storytelling opportunities. I don't know what they're going to do with Caleb. I feel like he'll probably get more evil before he gets better, if he does get better. But I think it'd be cool. I think I don't know what exactly his background is yet. I think we're going to see a lot more of his kind of origins and everything about him, and get a little more peek behind the Caleb curtain, if you will, and even in season 2, probably, if we get one. Knock on wood, fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
And hopefully, yeah, I think so. I wonder. I feel like personally, and honestly, I have no idea. This is completely conjecture, so this is not canon. I know it's important. I feel like he probably has to have some type of connection with one of the main characters in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what that would even be, but it feels like, you know, instead of it just being kind of a generic bad guy that just happens to hate them for no reason, like I feel like there's got to be some type of connection there, and I'd like to see that explored. If there's like a familial connection or something, I don't know. Like that would be cool. I think eventually down the line it'd be cool to have some kind of a Caleb redemption, but I think he's going to get much worse before he gets better, if he does get better. So we shall see.
Great question.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next
Have
up
a
we got
nice day.
Ellie. Ellie, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
I'm actually surfing so hard.
Hi, Ellie.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now
Yes, we can. Yep.
Hi, I'm from Sweden.
From Sweden, awesome. Ellie from Sweden. How you doing? What time is it there? You're probably up pretty late right now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's almost 12 p.m. Yeah.
For sure. What's your question, Ellie?
My question is, in what ways have Julie and the Phantoms changed your life, both bad and good?
Wow, that's a great question, and there's lots of ways, both bad and good. I would say I don't even know on the bad side. I'll start on the good side, I guess. I think that obviously it's been such a huge opportunity. I mean, it's as far as change goes, it's been so great meeting the cast and the crew, and then Kenny Ortega is just such a nice person. He obviously, directs a lot of it and executive produces it and everything. He's been so awesome and has just kind of really poured into us as a cast and been really encouraging and supportive. So that's been great having that kind of mentor, but also just the cast and him, like such great friendships, I think, through the show. We've all become really close. We've all become like a family. And I think that's had a great effect. And then obviously just the opportunity in itself. The show's doing really well from what I can see. People are loving it. I've gotten so many like messages from people and so much just support and love from everybody. It's been really, really awesome. And it's been for me, it's been a long time coming. I've been acting since I was like, 6 years old ish. And so I think for me, it's been kind of cool to build up over time and then get an opportunity like this. That's been really, really, taken well, and it's on camera too, which is awesome, and it involves music. So like those are all the good things. There's so many. It's been such a blessing. I've absolutely loved being a part of it. Bad things, I don't know. I guess we shall see. I mean, there's probably always something bad, but I guess like honestly for me, I take everything in stride, and I'm just thankful for what I have. It's such a great opportunity, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. And I love it. I guess some people will usually say, like, if something becomes really successful, like, you get like noticed on the streets and you can't go out to like public restaurants or something, but I can't really do that right now anyway. So, we're not really out doing anything. So it's not like, it's kind of weird. Like I see through social media that people are watching the show and loving it and stuff, but like, you don't really see any of that in person because we're not really out in person. So I think that's kind of funny. It's kind of surreal. It doesn't really feel like real yet, I guess. I think, in the next probably year or so, it'll probably kick in a little bit more. But so far, it's just been great things, honestly. I have nothing bad to say. I've loved it, and you guys have been awesome. So thank you.
Thank you for your question, Ellie. All right, next up we have Hessa. Hessa, where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from UAE, Dubai.
Wow.
Very cool. You're international, Jeremy.
I know. Oh, sorry. You can probably hear my dogs barking. They're kind of freaking out right now. Boys, stop it. It's fine. You okay, brother?
She's shocked.
That's okay. Hey, I'm very normal. Plus, you know, it's virtual too, so you're totally fine. You're good.
So, this is my sister. Hello. And
hello.
I can't talk right now. Okay,
freaking out for the past hour.
So I have a question. My sister has a question. So my first question is, what is your favorite song from Julie and the Phantoms?
Great question. I think probably my favorite song is probably Now or Never. I love kind of like upbeat rock songs, and that's such a fun one to kick off the show with. It's like, it's so, especially to play it too, it's so fast. Hello, wife. My wife is walking. It's so fast and it's so much energy. It's so punk. Like I love Now or Never. I think second favorite is probably either Other Side of Hollywood or Bright. I love Bright. Bright was actually the first song that we all auditioned with when we were auditioning for the show. Oh, hello, Papperitos. Oh, hello, puppy. Oh.
Hi, puppies.
Hi, Mama. Hi, boss. How are you? Hi, guys.
They just got a little haircut like yesterday, so they look like little bulls right now.
And sorry.
Hello. Hello.
And
are you so distracted?
Oh, my question?
Yeah.
What was the hardest episode to? No, what was the hardest scene to film in Julie and the Phantoms?
Hardest scene to film? Ooh, good question. I would say, I mean, none of them are like easy to film because a lot of times you're doing these big kind of musical numbers. There's so many people. There's so many things that have to go perfectly to make it work. I would say probably the hardest stuff to film was actually for me at least. This is probably not for everyone, but for me at least, hardest stuff to film was probably when we shot Nothing to Lose, which is the number that we do with Caleb, where he kind of puts us in the suits and then we come up on the stage and do the little solos and stuff. Only because we were like completely running out of time. We were so pressed for time that sequence was very close to getting cut. We almost didn't get to even do like our solos in it. For a second, it was like, we don't have time. Like, we're just going to shoot some of him from like the side stage, which a little bit of that is still in there. But then last minute, Kenny was like, I don't care. I don't care what they say. We're shooting this. Even if we get in trouble tomorrow, we're friggin' shooting this sequence. But then also at that point, you're like, okay, well, we better get this in like 2 takes because we have absolutely no, like, we're already over time. We're over everything. So it was just kind of stressful, and we hadn't really rehearsed it. Like, we knew the parts because we had come up with them, but we thought that we weren't going to be able to do them. And so then it was like 5 minutes. They're like, all right, we're doing it. So get out there. And like our music person was like, okay, just remember, like, this is this part. We're like, okay, cool. And we had no time to like choreograph anything. So like that whole, from the second the boys poop on stage, there is no choreography. It's just us just like being like, all right, and just kind of going with it and winging it. Like, I think we probably shot that whole thing from us pooping on stage in like 2 takes, basically. So that was hard. It's the stressful times when like you just are pressed for time on something and you know you have to get it quickly. That's always hard, but it turned out awesome. So I'm so glad that it got into the show.
Great questions, ladies.
And I wanted to say something quickly. Tell you something. So I'm really like a big fan of Julie and the Phantoms.
She watched it 23 times.
I watched it 24 times.
24.
And I know that's a lot, but like I watch it a lot and I cry every like time I watch it. And my sister's, her name is Fatima. And
awesome.
I like really love it that I made my whole like iOS
that's so cool
about it.
Wow.
And this is you right here.
Honestly,
I don't know
that's
if you
so
can see it really well.
That's so cool.
It's
Wow.
just the new update. And that I also like really love you so much. Like once you came, I like started crying. That my sister wanted me to stop crying, and she started laughing. And And I also had a dream about you and the whole cast in my wedding. And my wedding was with Charles Gillespie, which I actually like really love him a lot. And like I'm only 12. I'm sorry that I'm talking a lot. I like really love you guys.
Hey, I mean, if we're being completely honest, Charlie's a stud. He is a good-looking dude. That's
yeah, and I watched 2 seasons of Adventure Time today because I love you guys so much. And and
the more is that you learn from.
And I have like a list of things I learned from Julie and the Phantoms. That is never to eat hot dogs in my life.
That's true.
And always believe in ghosts because you never know what's gonna happen. And
calm down.
I'm sorry that I'm talking really fast. And that never leave your parents on a bad note.
That's a great
one. And those are like the 3
that's...
most things I learned. And what did I forget to say? Can you tell Charles Gillespie that I love him, please?
I will. Hey, you know what?
I actually have.
I'm gonna text him right now. Right now.
Thank you, Hester.
I also have a Phantom page for you guys on Instagram because I love you guys so much. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Hester. We got to run, but we got the next question.
Charlie, it says Hester loves you, so you can see that. But...
Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next up, we have Berenice. Berenice, where are you calling in from?
I'm from Mexico.
Hello.
Hi. You're on with Jeremy.
Hi. Well, hi.
Hello. How are
I'm actually very nervous. I'm very nervous because I love Julie and the Phantoms, and I watched it 2 times because I told my sister that I wanted to rewatch it again, but she said that I need a break because then I will have a problem.
No, you don't have a problem. You watch as times as you want.
My question is, how many scenes did you improvise on the JTP set?
Great question. I think like scenes, for the most part, as far as scenes go, everything's pretty much written. That it's just like little bits in scenes we would improvise quite a bit. So there's like at Caleb's Club, for instance, at the end of it where they kind of put the burgers and the pizza and the stuff on the table. I think once they set it down, the rest of that is pretty much improvised. And then like there's a scene where me and Luke are talking about some lyrics that Julie wrote, and he's like, "Oh, it's like, my secrets. I know all your deep dish. Does that mean something?" And there's a line where I go like, when Julie says deep dish, is she talking about like pizza or? And that was improvised, and we did that. That was actually, I didn't think that would make it into the show. It was just kind of a joke because we had this inside joke every time that we would sing the song in rehearsal. We would say deep dish pizza, and just as a joke, they needed something to intro the scene, so I did that. And then they were like, "Yeah, that's great. Keep saying it." And I was like, "Really?" And then the other thing that I can think of is there's a bit where it's a good chunk of the ending of the scene actually, where like Luke comes over and he's like, and we're like, "Oh, you got chemistry with Julie," and he's like, "No, I have chemistry with anyone when I sing," and we're like, "Okay," and then he's like, "No, I swear," and then he starts singing and he comes closer to Reggie and he like does the whole thing and Reggie's like, "Whoa." Pretty much after the only part of that where does it start? I think everything's improvised from the only line that was written was "I see chemistry," I think. I think the rest of that is all completely improvised after that. And also, like, me and Charlie, like, a lot of times we just, like, messing with each other and just seeing, like, how far you can take a scene, basically. And sometimes, like, it's just, we're doing it, honestly, just for the fun of it. And then a lot of times we don't realize, we don't think it's going to make it into the show. And then, like, later it stays in the edit and we're like, "Oh, okay." So, yeah, me and Charlie will just do as much of that as possible. And it's so fun. But, yeah, those are the 3 things that I know were off the top of my head that I know were improvised. I'm sure there's a lot more than that, too. But those are the ones that I know of.
Which one was your favorite?
Which one's my favorite? Out of those, I think probably the Luke, Alex, Reggie chemistry scene, just because it makes me laugh every single time. And like Charlie just full on committed to it. He just full committed and was like, he was trying to make me as uncomfortable as possible the whole time. And it turned out perfectly. Honestly, like I love watching that scene now. It's one of my favorites. It was one of those scenes where like you get on set and you're like, that worked. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorites.
Question, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Next up, we got Sanya. Sanya, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Bangladesh.
Hello,
Hi.
Sanya from Bangladesh. Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. It's like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Wow, how are you awake? How are you going in? Thank you for staying up so late to talk. Appreciate it.
I'm so excited and nervous, and you're so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm very, very, very flattered. You're very, very beautiful as well.
What's your question for Jeremy?
Well, you answered all my questions actually.
I answered all
can
of
you
them.
yeah? Can you like tell us a story that you want to share with us? Anything you want to?
I would love to. Thank you. There's a lot of good ones. I'm trying to think of something that I haven't mentioned yet. Oh, this is a good one. This will just make you laugh. This is very funny. So when we were shooting Bright, which is the first kind of song that Julie and the Phantoms actually do together before they realize they can even play together, they do it and everyone can see them. It was kind of one of those situations where it was getting close to the end of the day. We really had to finish the scene up and get out of there. We're getting low on time, and whenever we're performing those scenes on stage, it's very hot. There's like very bright lights, the lighting, everything. A lot of our wardrobe is kind of warm. We have like multiple layers, and Madison specifically, that plays Julie, has like a full on layers on, and so it gets really hot. And so they'll bring these little kind of mini fans around and just kind of fan us between scenes, and they had one on me, and I was like, I don't really need it. I'm good. And I looked over at Maddie. She seemed like she was like really sweating. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me go fan her off. So I went over, started fanning her. She's like, oh, thanks. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then our wardrobe person says, oh, her outfit gets very hot in the back of, the back of the neck area. Can you fan back here? I was like, yeah, sure. So I move it around to the back, and then it goes, and I was like, what? Oh, and her curly hair got completely sucked up and caught in the little mini fan. And I was like, oh God. And then she's like, what happened? I was like, oh, nothing. It's fine. You're good. Just don't worry about it. We're just, it's all good. And she's like, no, it feels like something. I was like, well, your hair kind of got caught in the fan, but we got it. And like, right as this is happening, I hear Kenny go, all right, people, we got to go. Let's shoot it. Rolling. And I was like, oh, no, not rolling. So then like, they're like trying to like kind of silently trying to get it without like we're all freaking out, and I just kind of like skirt away from the situation. I'm like, my bad. So I just kind of get out of there, and then they're like, well, do we cut it out? And Madison's like, please, no, don't cut my hair. So they it was a little touch and go there for a sec, but they got it out, ended up being fine. It was very stressful for a couple of minutes, but I accidentally caught Madison's hair in a fan, so that happened. But so that's a fun one.
Thank you for staying up.
Okay, thank you for your time.
All right.
Of course.
Next up, we got Valeria.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, where are you calling in from?
Ecuador.
Where at? Ecuador. Oh, Ecuador. Awesome. How are you doing?
My brother wants to say to you hi.
He wants to say hello? Well, hello. Hi. Hello. What's up, London? How you doing?
We admire you so much.
Thank you.
My question is, if you could be someone else for a day, who would you like to be, and why?
If I could be someone else for a day, who would I like to be and why? Who would I like to be and why? That's a great question. That's a hard question. There's so many people. There's so many options. I don't even know where to begin. Do I go for the why first, or do I go for the person first? I don't know. I'll go with you know what? I'll go with Cheyenne Jackson, who plays Caleb Covington, just because the dude's got some mad singing skills, and also can dance, and just an epic showman. So if I could just take his vocals for a day and be able to sing like that, that would be pretty epic. The dude's got insane range, and he can put, that was my favorite part of Other Side of Hollywood, is we basically just got to sit in these chairs for like 5 days straight and just watch them perform that live. All the dancing is amazing. So yeah, maybe that. I think get to take it on some skills from someone who has those types of skills, or even a dancer. Like maybe I'll switch with Savannah for a day, who plays Carrie. She's an amazing dancer. So just to be able to feel what it's like to actually be a good dancer, because I'm not. It's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not good at it.
Thank you for your question, Valeria.
The second question is, what is your biggest goal in life?
My biggest goal in life?
Yes.
Great question. Biggest goal in life. I think for me, the most important thing to me has always been my faith and just kind of loving people. So if I can spread a lot of love and encouragement, and just be a light to people, and I guess try and leave the world a little bit better than when I came into it, then that's in whatever way that may be. Maybe just I did a show like this, and a joke that I have in the show made somebody laugh. Like that's the type of stuff. I just ultimately I like making people laugh, and I like making people smile. If I can do that, then that's the goal. That's the goal. I think people could use some more laughs and some more smiles in our day and age, for sure.
Definitely. We've had a lot of laughs today. Here's our last question from Marina. Marina, you're on with Jeremy. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Brazil.
Marina from Brazil. What's going on, Marina? Yes, I can. How are you?
How are you?
Great.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. This is probably very random, but you look very similar to the lady Danielle she was our Julie stand-in for a lot of stuff. You guys look very similar. You guys could be sisters easily. It's very funny. So for those of you who don't know, Madison, who plays Julie, is obviously she's 16, so she can only work like so many hours on set per day. And so after she kind of finishes and goes home, whenever there's shots that are on like the back of her head and you see like me and the guys, usually her double is standing in, but from the back you can't tell the difference. But if you turn around, you're like, oh wait, that's not Madison, that's not Julie. But you just look a lot like Danielle. So, and maybe do a double take for a sec.
Can you say hi to Brazil fans, because they love you so much? And
yes, I can. Hello, Brazil fans. Really thankful that you guys love the show. We love you guys as well. You guys have been awesome, and whenever you're kind of remaking a show that's from somewhere else, it's always a little bit stressful at first, because you want to make sure that you do it justice, and that you make people proud who had it originally. And so you guys have been so supportive and so sweet. So we're very, very thankful for that. I'm glad you guys are liking it. And nothing from love. You guys the Brazil fans have been so awesome. So thank you.
Thank you. My question is, how was it to leave the dubbing and go to act? Was it a difficult process? And how did you react when you knew that you were choosing to register?
I think there's actually video of it. I think I went, woo, just like that. I think that's literally what I did when I learned I was Reggie. I know they have footage of it. I think I did one of these. I was very excited when I got the part of Reggie. And then the transition, I guess, that you're talking about from kind of doing voiceover work to on camera. I actually did on camera work before I'd ever done voiceover. But for a long time, I just was really well known for doing voiceover, and I primarily did that for years and years and years. So I guess now it's kind of interesting now that just being known for both, and not just being kind of like, oh, he's the dude that does a lot of voiceover work. Like now being on this type of show where it's like, oh, like you do this and voiceover. It's kind of weird. It's kind of the best of both worlds, I guess, because I love doing animation. I still want to keep doing voiceover. as long as I possibly can, and then also still keep doing this, because they're both, I think, very different in tone, and they both have their pros and cons for sure. But I really, really enjoy both of them. You know, voiceover, you can show up to work in your PJs, you know, your pajamas, basically. There's no dress code. It doesn't really matter. Not that I do that, because I try to be professional, but I could do that. And it's a little bit more relaxed. I think it's a little bit looser. You're not memorizing lines, and you can be a little bit more broad at times. But on camera is so much fun because you get to do all those things. You get to dress up in the wardrobe of your character. You really feel like you're living it out. You're doing it like we're on stage playing the instruments and singing, and like it's fun. They both have, I think, really good parts to them. So for me, I think the transition has just been nice to do both now. I mean, that's what I would want to do going forward, is continue to do both. So yeah. Thank you for your question, Marina, and everybody else. This has been such an awesome one. It's been so cool having people from literally all over the world. This is insane. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we had, I don't know how many, 12 different countries, maybe more. Amazing.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, well, that's a wrap for today's CoStar FanCast. Thank you to all the fans who tuned in, and especially the ones who asked the question. Shout out to Jeremy for being so gracious with his time. I'm your host, Patrick Green. Stay tuned for the next CoStar FanCast with Jeremy next month. Until then, follow CoStar for the latest updates on your favorite stars.
Thanks, everybody. Bye,